Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Weatherfans Live here on Sunday, the 15th of June 25. I hope you're all well. About a 2-week break, and now we're back to Sunday nights again. Obviously, you may have seen us live on, what day was it? Tuesday and Friday. So, hope you enjoyed those Thunderstorm Watch and Live Thunderstorm Chase. Right, how are we all doing this evening? It's just myself tonight. Liz is busy. Gordon's busy tonight with his boys. It's his Father's Day, and I've not heard from Paul, so I don't know if he's out and about or what. So, first person in the chat tonight is Matthew. Good evening. Get ready for the heat. Yes, I have seen some reports of that in the last few days. We'll have a look at that later on this evening. Good evening to T. Whiteford, the theme song at the start, Terry and June. Rachel snuck in. Good evening to you, our yellow friend. Hope you are well. Good evening, audio coffee. Don't mind me. I'm just sitting here working out to make the complaint about Kent having all the storms the other night. They were spectacular, weren't they? We had my friend Sarah down in towards Hastings to actually film some beautiful lightning from where she was. We had Liz out as well on what day was it? Friday night, yes. I think she may have seen some lightning later in the evening, but she didn't catch it on camera. Scrolling down the chat. Good evening to Ash31 Weather Station. Hope you are well, my friend. If you're saying get your flip-flops at the ready. Good evening to Laura Johnson. I hope you are well. And yes, good evening to you, Audio Coffee. I've just seen your profile picture there. Is that a selfie? Good evening to our mods. Good evening to you, Paul James. PJ, hope you are well. Because of your 2-week break from the live as well. Just reading what Rage was putting there. Why can't this guy come out of the car already armed with his gun on the mission? GTI Vice City, it's blooming annoying. Oh, sorry, Rachel, I don't know what's going on there. Good evening to Catherine. We didn't get much, I don't think. Whereabouts are you from? I think it's the first time I've seen your name on here. Good evening to you. Welcome to Weatherfans Live here on this Sunday evening. Audio ended up following another smallish channel following the storms. I had drones up, not smart, and got some rather epic footage. Yeah, not quite smart at all, is it? Really putting those drones up because you never know. Bang, and it's goodbye drone. Although totally devoid of storms here, as expected, of course. Yeah, well, after last year's abysmal storm season 24, we said for the launch of storm season 25, it couldn't get any worse, could it? And then we had the start. Well, we had our driest and warmest driest and sunniest spring on record. So it's not been great so far for storms. I think hopefully it could be the start of something this past weekend. But then again, signs of high pressure taking full control this week. Catherine is from the Clevelands. Rachel's playing GTA Vice City. Enjoy. Paul James had no storms either, and no storms in Oxfordshire. Always take the easiest track, west and east. You got the Storm Dome again above you as well. I believe Gordon has had some storms in Blackpool. I've seen a few shots. We'll actually look at those pictures from our Weather Fans Facebook page. Have a quick look at them before going on to the forecasts. Audrey, so we had a short shower, but that was it. I was disappointed. Yeah, we had no storms here during we've had a few showers the last few days, but Friday night we did actually have a cell come right over when I was live. Actually, it just constantly popped up, but unfortunately, didn't get any lightning out of that at all. Well, let's wait and see if we get anything in the next couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the trends in just a few moments. So at the bottom of the chat, yes. So let's take a look at some of the weather pics that have been sent to us at Weather Fans, which will include some of the lightning that was taken from Friday night. Whoops, let me just tear that off a second. Thought I had that ready, but clearly I hadn't. Did have it ready, but for some reason it changed. Must have refreshed. Just bear with me a second. I think it's gone back to a blank screen. I'll be back on in just a second. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Let's bring the screen share back on. There we go. Let's set myself off there. Right, these are the latest pictures sent in to us to our Facebook page at Weather Fans. So this is from Simon Luckman of the sunset, I think from last night. Well, that's a beautiful picture there of the sunset and where he is. Absolutely beautiful pictures. Thank you, Simon, if you're watching or watching a bit later on. This was from 21 hours ago, so obviously yesterday wasn't many storms around during the day yesterday, apart from what was already forecast for parts of the northwest and west. But the storm did continue over Europe yesterday as well, as that heat got pushed more towards the east. So 1,000 lightning strikes in these areas here. So that's from Charlie Hinks from yesterday, going dark near Coventry. There was a few cells around yesterday, actually, towards that neck of the woods, but they were just very light showers because Richard, like a little line actually of light showers forming from Birmingham up to around about Leicester, Nottingham area. This is from Southern Storm Photography with a beautiful lightning strike over the sea. So this would have been from Friday night. I know he was out on Friday night taking some shots. Wow, look at that. So I've just gone back to just make sure I was still streaming this on the live. Another shot there from Southern Storm Photography. And just shows you that lightning strike doesn't go in a straight line down to the earth. It takes different kind of tracks, and you can see that very clearly there. Absolute fantastic pictures there of the lightning. You could just stay and look at these all day, couldn't you? Definitely plenty of energy in the atmosphere. This is from Laura Fisher of our cloud base there. Nice little rainbow there to the left-hand side from where she is. Up with some of the showers that was around yesterday. Not too sure where she's from. That's from Caroline Scott Bailey. A nice beefy shower just there. That was from Pembrokeshire on Friday night. Nice lightning strike there. Because after the main event, shall we say, on Friday night, some of the storm started kicking off. Oh, wow, look at that. Started kicking off on the line down the western side of the UK. Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. Thank you for Ethan Litton for sharing that. Again, I'm not too sure where you're from, but that is absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sending that in. Wow. And where was that? Yes, that was yesterday morning, just southwest of Edinburgh. There's a few lightning strikes there. Is there a town called smaller near to bigger? Interesting question. You never know these days, do you? That's from the boss himself. So much gone on out in Wales to Cumbria, cuddling the Fylde coast. Nice features into the South Lakes now with big CG lightning strikes, deep rumbles, and heavy rain. Good luck all. Yeah, that was, you posted that at 5 to 9 on Saturday morning. To see if there's any pictures on these comments. That's from Simon Luckman. The lightning at the bottom of the screen there. And a shot there from, these are some shots here from Simon Luckman. This was from the boss, UK cloud satellite image of the huge storm across Kent at 10 o'clock on Friday night. Has it split in two from its warm Iberian plume? These structures are mentioned to be supercell structures, image from MetCheck. So these are the storms that were moving, what we call the Kent Clipper, really. I think they affected parts of East Anglia as well. I think after around about midnight onwards. But you can see the height, you can tell the height with these, with the shadow which has been caused by them. There was some really nice images actually of the cells which I haven't got to hand. Okay, there's not too much going on there. If you do send us videos, try please keep it to under about 30 seconds. So obviously the longer it is, perhaps the less likely we will end up seeing the whole lot. But again, thank you for sending that in. I managed to snap a picture of which lit the whole sky up. Very heavy rain, road flooding, impossible to get any strikes from this. First real storm for me in nearly 3 years. Wow. Going to enjoy it. Stay dry and safe whoever's out chasing this awesome storm. So again, that was from Friday night. Thank you, Anne Roberts, and you're one of our regulars here at Weather Fans. This was from 2 years ago from Colby Taylor. Not seeing a good storm. Tomorrow will bring some good storms. Hopefully, Colby might have had some storms. So I'm saying 2-minute video of a non-stop insane lightning around now. Heading in, having to close the window. I bet it must have been quite muggy with these storms passing over as well. So if you want to see the rest of this video, please go onto our Weather Fans Facebook page. So that's from Anne Roberts. Nicely lighting up the sky there. So this is an image there from Andy Pinch showing how much lightning was around. That was around about 10 o'clock on Friday night. So talking a good few thousand lightning strikes just in that southeast corner from northern France to East Anglia. The Kent area.
Whoa!
And me jump then. That was from.
It did it over there.
Apologies for the pronunciation. That is from. Is it Hadre di Piano? Called a decent distance flash. Was able to see a bit of action. Nothing compared to the southeast. Hope everyone else. How is everyone else doing the storm action? Yeah, come on, rest in peace, headphone users. Did make me jump. Thank you so much for you to send that in to us. But yeah, again, this is from the boss. That was taken around about 10 o'clock and just shows you the amount of lightning strikes coming out of France down to the southeast corner. And more of these lightning strikes as it was approaching on Friday night. Landscape there by Choke. And we'll just take it a little bit further back because obviously most of the action did happen on Friday night. That's from Simon Luckman with the Aurora. Nice red tinge there. We'll go to the end of this run and we'll leave it as that. Take a look at this time lapse. Wow, how nice is that? That was from Lord John. Started with this just before the show, but the clouds have soon fell flat as a pancake. Got time lapse running just in case more clouds roll in, but didn't look that promising. Even for decent clouds, the sun is out now. So hopefully you might have got something. And we'll just leave that as far as there for now. So if you want to send in your pictures, feel free to send them on our Weather Fans page. I'm just going to go back onto the comments and see who's out and about at the moment. Where we get to all the comments. I just realised I usually play my theme and tune in the background for those pictures, but I've just remembered. Right. Yeah, Lord Johnson, the lightning strikes looked epic on radar. They certainly did. If you was watching live, you could perhaps sometimes hear the text was just constantly pinging away. Oh, I didn't know that, audio. The bad feature with Facebook, it takes you back to your home page after so long if you got a tab up on the group page. I didn't know that. I thought it should, if you left on something, it should stay there, not going back, reverting back to its default, shall we say. Still picking strawberries. Good year for veg too. I think I know quite a lot of farmers have been struggling with all this dry weather we've had. Hopefully this rain has brought a bit of relief. There was plenty of spectacular light in Kent. Definitely we've seen with the pictures there. And Laura's not jealous one bit. T. Whiteford got a few rumbles on to CC Flash in Edinburgh yesterday, but moved very quickly northwards to Fife and out into the North Sea. Yeah, it was Scotland's turn yesterday. I don't know how much of the lighting the was up there because I was quite busy yesterday with being out with the family, shopping, etc. A few had rumbles here, but not the storms. And I had just a brief shower on Friday night. What was that? I'm annoyed at the lack of enough storm to cause my neighbour to have you're getting my sausage wet moments on their barbecue. It sure was a barbecue they're doing then. Normally less rain in the southeast, but can get lucky with storms. Yeah. Obviously, we know that the southeast of the UK is much drier than the rest, but you all got potential to get those storms coming from France, which you did get on Friday night. There was some flooding, I think, towards around about Margate, I think. Is it Margate? I know there was a concert was going on there at the time, and another venue got slightly flooded. I'm allowed to get binaural at lack of storms. I even bought a new camcorder especially, so I've been using it as a time-lapse camera. I love time-lapse videos, actually. I'll probably start doing some more myself from the weather window. Wonder when we can get a proper storm in here in Derbyshire. I'm starting to wonder that myself. And thank you so much, Ash. The Weather Fans team did a fantastic job on Friday. Well done, all. Thank you. The whole team was here. If you've not seen any of their live, the whole team was here. Myself, Paul, Liz, Gordon popped in, and my friend Sarah, who I've known for many years. She was in the Hastings area, and she took some of that beautiful footage of the lightning. She was brought onto the screen. So if you are watching back, Sarah, thank you so much for sharing that video content with us. Right, shall we take a look at the facts chart? It would help if I had the tab ready, wouldn't it? There we go. So let's see what exactly is going on right now. I think I need to invest in another screen because it's why it's taking me much longer. If I could do this over 2 screens, and it won't be this much delay between frames and all that. Right, let's put that off to full screen, get myself off. It's going to turn the comments off at the bottom right just for now so you can see a bit more clearer. So this is the latest facts chart from the good old Met Office. So we've got high pressure down to our southwest. We've just got this weak weather front crossing the country. It could give a few light showers in the next few hours. And I'm currently flying around me is a fly which is going to get swatted by my hand in a minute. So what's happening that week? Weather front's going across the country, as mentioned, 1 or 2 showers. And from start of Monday, we've just got this high pressure build up from the south. There could be a spell of some rain for parts of Northern Ireland into Scotland, but that will progress towards the northeast through Monday into Tuesday. You serious, Fly? You've actually landed on the back of my hand. Nearly got you. These flies are getting brave, aren't they? Anyway, back to the weather. Into Tuesday, we've still got high pressure and control down across much of the UK, away from the northwestern areas. We've got a cold front progressing southeastwards, but as it runs into high pressure, it's just going to decay and might 1 or 2 showers towards western areas, perhaps northwest England into parts of Wales, but they will be fragmenting as they push towards the southeast through into Wednesday. High pressure in charge of our weather, centered towards the southwest of the UK. And even heading into Friday, we've got high pressure virtually sat on top of the UK we start to bring in, a bit of a slack, maybe east to south, southerly flow around at high. It's going to be very calm, shall we say, underneath that. Got a warm front pushing northwards, so perhaps introducing a bit warmer air. Let's take a look at the latest GFS. I've got to say, I was looking at the GFS model yesterday and was bringing up some very interesting charts on days 12 to 14. When I say interesting, it was bringing up a very warm air mass up from the south, and even had temperatures predicted to be up into the mid-30s. So let's have a look. I've not looked at the latest model one of the GFS. See if that's been downgraded since yesterday. Let's have a look at the upper air temperatures and sea level pressure charts. So currently, right now, it's relatively warm. All the warm air that we had before the weekend has all pushed into Central Europe. We're in this cooler air mass that we've had of late. And there's a high pressure building up from the south. So it's got quite hot air over Iberia. At the moment, we'll have to see if that makes any progress towards the UK. So there's a high pressure centered over across the UK into Wednesday with this latest GFS 12Z run. It's cooler towards the north. But are we going to see this warm air start to move northwards as a high pressure moves towards our east? So there's the 15-degree isotherm starts getting close towards the southwest. Is that going to progress any further north? It's like it could just slice across the southeast. It looks like this cool air trying to move in from the northwest. What happens with that? That just virtually sits there, really. Looks like there's another truck. Get my teeth in. Looks like there's another trying to push another warm, another push of hot air coming up from the south there. Can't get the words out. What's going on? Is that an area of low pressure forming there? There is. Potentially, if this comes off next week, and potentially could we have another repeat of what we just had? Got all that hot air towards the south there. And is that the 20-degree isotherm? Yes, just across the channel there. As that progress into the southeast, it could be another Kent Clipper. Low pressure towards the southwest. So potentially we could see some thunderstorms in association with this. Is it a repeat of what we just had? That pushes towards the east. That low pressure sits in the Bay of Biscay. And with the southwesterly flow there, there's sort of force like fresh air fresh air starts to move in for days 12 and 13. So it's like a case of it's being wetter towards northwest, right towards the south. And cool air tries to move in actually to start of July. I can't believe I'm just saying that already. So let's have a look at these sea level pressure charts because it is a bit hard to see with the 850. So same charts again, but without the upper air temperatures on there. So high pressure building in from the south during the week. That high pressure sits towards the eastern side of the UK. And by the weekend, we'll start to pick up a south to southeasterly. For another ridge of high pressure moves in from the southwest. We've got an area of low pressure developing towards Biscay on next Sunday. As I mentioned, we've got a hot air going around it. So again, we could potentially see the risk of some thunderstorms into end of next weekend. And instead of doing what it did this weekend, where that low pressure moved northwards, it actually stays in the Bay of Biscay. So that could be bringing up some thunderstorms again for the start of next week if this was to come off. We've actually got low pressure towards the southwest and the northeast before ridge builds again across the UK on days 10. Then we're in between weather systems there. Winds trying to switch it back into a west-southwesterly. We're in that cooler air mass. And just see at the bottom there, you've got the Azores high trying to ridge back in to the rest of this period. With low pressure, never too far away either. So let's have a look at the temperatures with this run, actually. See how much of that hot air does actually move in. My first estimate is probably maybe the high 20s, low 30s, maybe. Days 10 to 13, 14. Let's get through to tomorrow. High pressure building in, temperatures widely across much of England and Wales into the the low to mid 20s. Cooler towards Scotland, where you've got that weather front moving northeastwards. Into Tuesday, again, widely into the low to mid 20s across much of England and Wales. This right about here could be where you've got that band moving towards the southeast, band of clouds. Obviously, it's just going to restrict the temperatures as it does so. Into Wednesday, temperatures again low to mid 20s for much of England and Wales. Teens, high teens for the rest of the UK. Into Thursday, temperatures widely into the 20s across the whole of the UK. And you start seeing the first signs of some warmth build up towards nearby France. Temperatures there into the low to mid 30s. Elsewhere in the UK, England and Wales getting into the mid to high 20s. And that's where we start to see high pressure start to position itself towards the east. So again, temperatures are getting into the mid to high 20s, maybe even the low 30s some areas. There's a few 30, 31s appearing here for central eastern areas. Could have a degree or two on top of that, so maybe 32, 33 possible for next Friday. Nearby France, temperatures could get up to 35 to 38 degrees. And with low pressure moving up from the southwest, could reduce these temperatures down for Saturday. Depends if any storms do kick off. So temperatures going back down to the mid to high 20s. And temperatures still in France there, getting to 37 to 40 degrees, incredibly. So into next weekend, it just all depends how much stormage we do actually see, which will determine what the temperatures will be through into next weekend. Obviously, the heat and humidity rising, the nights will be warmer as well. Then by the time we get to Monday, the 23rd, fresher air has moved in across much of the UK, maybe still a bit warm towards the south. And again, nearby France, temperatures in the high 30s, maybe up to about 40, 41 degrees in some areas. Let's bring it forward to day 10. So I chose the 24th again, high teens across northern areas, western areas, and the heat feels like it's still hanging on towards the south there, mid to high 20s down towards the south of the M4 corridor. And finally, day 10, again, temperatures are still looking warm, around about the mid to high 20s across much of the UK on Wednesday the 25th. Right, let's have a look at a quick look at the minimums actually through that period. Actually, let's have a look at the minimums temperatures for this week. Obviously, it is warming up across the UK. Some other temperatures forecast for tomorrow morning. We're looking about the high single digits, around about 11, 10 to 11, 12s across much of the UK. Into Tuesday morning, again, very similar, around about 10, 11 degrees across the board. And this is where we start seeing temperatures slowly climbing. Saying that, with that weather front towards the northwest, temperatures in the high single digits and looking at 12s, 13s across much of England and Wales. Into Thursday morning, again, temperatures at about high single digits, 10s, 11s. And is this where we start seeing the humidity start rising a little bit? Widely 11 to 14 degrees to start on Friday morning. And it's the start of Saturday, the 21st. Actually, I thought temperatures will start rising, but then again, it is towards the southeast. Temperatures are getting quite cool towards Scotland there, mid-single digits, and perhaps down towards the far southeast. Temperatures not dropping below 15, 16, maybe 17 degrees. Into Sunday, the 22nd, I thought the temperatures will be staying up quite high, actually, but that's proved me wrong there. So temperatures, again, around about 10, 11 degrees. And around about the same again, up to 14 degrees highs on Monday. So I thought with that heat building up, I thought the nights would be warmer, actually, but that's pretty wrong there. Let's have a look at the Cape and Lifted. Obviously, there wasn't any triggers for the rest of this week, really, but it's just next weekend we need to keep an eye on. But so let's have a look at the Cape and Lifted. High pressure in charge for much of this week, actually. Central southern areas. Shouldn't see too much. So, yeah. Nothing to report. Cape values. So let's see if anything starts to pop up there towards the back end of this week. A little bit of Cape there perhaps for Thursday, but I don't think there's going to be any trigger for that on Thursday the 19th. But towards the back end of this week, we need to keep an eye on for any developments with that low pressure perhaps forming towards the southwest. And quite nice Cape values there for Friday the 20th. But we need to see if we've got that trigger there. Saturday, I'm not showing anything at all there. So, that low pressure towards the southwest, I thought we could see more of the way of instability there. Maybe that low pressure is a bit too far towards the southwest than I expected on this model run. So could it be Friday? We'll have to wait and see, actually. Have to wait and see. I'll take some minor adjustments for that to move a bit further north. So as I look at e-commerce stand, all I can see is, I wonder if there's a Tweety Pie shaped vacuum. Oh. I have no idea, Rachel. Right, let's move away from the GFS and have a look at the ECM WF, see what they're showing. Oh, wrong chart. We'll come back to that in just a second. Wrong ECM WF. Right, this is from weathercentral.de. This is the 12Z of the ECM WF. This is in 24-hour periods, so let's move forward to Monday. Again, this is showing that ridge of high pressure movement from the southwest on Monday. Really? Again, Tuesday. Right, this is taking the biscuit now. Go away. High pressure centers across southern areas. We've got some weather fronts bringing that band through again into Tuesday, but that soon disappears with high pressure and a banner taking control of the bloody screen again. Into Wednesday. Thursday, high pressure starts. Oh, for goodness sake, bugger off. Started to move towards the east, bringing fine settled conditions for all of the UK. And again into Friday as well. I don't care about your bloody ads. Bugger off. Into Saturday, again, high pressure in charge to our east. We're picking up another banner, which is going to be launched through the bloody window if it doesn't bugger off. Winds coming from the south to southeast on Saturday the 21st. Into Sunday the 22nd, another banner pops up, which will then get thrown through across the room. The high pressure starts to move towards the north, so we're still winds coming up from the southeast, so it's looking quite warm there again. Monday the 23rd, that low pressure that was shown on the GFS is actually a lot further southwest, and this keeps things much drier across the UK, perhaps even locally hot. Again, possible high 20s, maybe low 30s possible, and still got high pressure in charge into the start of next week as well. Let's look at that. Is that going to show me that? Nope. That's the thing with this one, to show me the temperatures on here. So let me just take that off there. Bring back onto the screen. Try change the browsers. I suggest Brave. A lot of streamers use it because it automatically doesn't load pop-up ads. All right, but no, I'll try to look into that. Good evening to our mod James. Even all, sorry it's a little late. Don't you worry, my friend. Don't you worry at all. Hope you're well. So yeah, what I was going to say then. The GFS and the ECMWF do have a high pressure burn up from the south, moving towards that, slightly towards that east at the end of this week. Also, we could see temperatures widely into the mid to high 20s, possibly up to about 30, 31, maybe 32, but we'll see closer to the time into start next week. What's going to happen beyond that? So let's take a look at the ECMWF weekly anomaly charts. Is high pressure going to stay in charge again like it has for much of this? We're going to see any changes of any prolonged low pressure. Let's clear myself off there. I'll try and find my tab. There we go. So this is the 16th of June towards the 23rd of June, and it has high pressure sensed across the UK, which we've seen with both the ECM and the GFS model. So I've got the 23rd to 30th of June. This has high pressure up towards the northwest. That brings in a bit of a northeasterly on this flow. So perhaps bring it a bit slightly cold. It just depends how much wind there is coming off the North Sea. Perhaps North Sea coast could be a bit cooler with the wind coming off there. 30th of June to the 7th of June. There's not quite clear signal there. Maybe perhaps high pressure slightly out towards the west, and we could be bringing a bit of a northwesterly flow. 7th of July towards the 14th, and again, no clear signal there. Lower pressure towards Iberia. So we could be in a slack airflow. It could be high pressure sitting there, but it's not really being shown clearly there. 14th to the 21st of July has high pressure sat over the UK. Again, winds could be coming in from a northeast to easterly direction on with this. And the 21st to the 28th, again, could be high pressure dominated. So let's take a look at what it means with the precipitation. And they're surprised with high pressure in charge. We're looking much drier than average for all of the UK for the 16th to 23rd of June. 23rd to 30th of June, we're looking drier than average. It's going to look in slightly wetter than average towards the far north of Scotland there from the 30th to 7th of July. And looking a bit dry towards the southeast there, 7th to the 14th. Looking drier again for the 14th to 21st of July and the 21st to the 28th. So it's not looking good if you're after rain. It looks like we could be expecting more of a dry spell returning again. So if you're desperate for rain, it's not looking good at all. In the terms of temperatures, the 16th to 23rd of June, we're looking around about 3 to 6 degrees above average towards central southeastern areas. And we're looking around about 1 to 3 degrees above average elsewhere. The 23rd to 30th, we're looking around about 1 to 3 degrees above average across much of the UK. And same again for the 30th to the 7th of July, 7th of July to the 14th, and just continuing to the end of the run up to the end of July there. So we're looking above average there. So yeah, that's the UK weather, how the UK long range is actually looking. Looks like we're returning back to high pressure, as could say really from tomorrow, really. Well, that week weather front moving through into Tuesday, but looks like when high pressure builds in, it's looking like it's going to be staying dry for the foreseeable. So if you like warm, sunny weather, looks like that's the one for you that you want to see. If you want rain, please look away. It's all right. Let's go across towards the other side of the pond and take a look what's happening with the tropics. Obviously, we're into hurricane season now. Do we need like a hurricane or something to knock into the jet stream to, if you want rain, to knock it, to perhaps send some rain up towards the UK? So let's take a look what's happening. So this is the next 7-day forecast for the tropical outlook from the National Hurricane Center. There's absolutely nothing expected in the next 7 days at all. However, in the Eastern Pacific, it's been already quite busy there, even though it started on the 15th of May, but already had 4 storms so far. So you've got Tropical Storm Dahlia. Obviously, I've said that wrong. Let's have a look at this storm here. But as expected to weaken the next, well, any time now, really, into a depression. We're back to sustained wind of 50 miles an hour and moving west northwest at miles per hour. So that's not going to be affecting the coast at all. And there is there's no write-up about this storm at all, so that's all as much I can see with that. And here we've got the disturbance number 1, an offshore of Central America and southeastern Mexico. A broad area of low pressure continues to produce disorganized showers and thunderstorms offshore Central America. Environmental conditions are expected to be conducive for gradual development of this system, and a tropical depression is likely to form by the middle of this week, while moving westward to northwestward just off the shore of the coast of El Salvador, Guatemala, and southeastern Mexico. So formation chance in the next 48 hours is 40%, with a 70% chance in the next 7 days. So that'll be Storm E. So I don't know, took a look at the names for the Eastern Pacific, but we'll already be getting towards E already for there. So it's obviously a busy start to the season there for the Eastern Pacific, while the Atlantic hasn't woken up yet. So there's that storm that weakening while moving over the cooler waters there. So that's probably going to be dissipated perhaps in the next 24 to 72 hours. Moving inland into Island America, today's convective outlook. So for today, there is an enhanced risk there for Montana, that's South Dakota. That's a bit too far north. Oh, it is. I thought Dakota a bit further towards the east, but yes, there's an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms later this afternoon, early tonight for central eastern Montana into the adjacent areas of North Dakota and South Dakota, Wyoming. So scattered thunderstorms are capable of producing a large to very large hail and waves of severe damaging gusts of some 75 mile per hour plus are likely across portions of central eastern Montana into the northeast Wyoming and the western Dakotas this afternoon through tonight. Additional strong to severe thunderstorms may occur along the central southern plains and other parts of Virginia and North Carolina. So in the enhanced risk, there's an average population of 273,608 in the enhanced risk, and that's in orange. In the slight risk, there's just under 1 million people. Cities include Rapid City, Bozeman, North Platte, Gillette, and Sheridan. And in the marginal, which is quite widespread, there are nearly 29 million people underneath that, the likes of Dallas, Fort Worth, Virginia Beach, and Omaha in that zone. Let's have a look at the day 2 outlook. So the day 2 outlook. So there is an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms from parts of Minnesota into Nebraska. So scattered severe thunderstorms with areas of damaging winds and hail are forecast on Monday from the north central high plains into the upper Mississippi Valley. So there are just 4.4 million people in the enhanced risk there. Of cities include Minneapolis, St. Paul, Bloomington, Plymouth, and Brooklyn Park. In the slight, there's 4.2 million, likes of Omaha, Lincoln, Sioux Falls, Billings, and Rochester. And in the marginal, there's another just under 8 million, Wichita, Madison, Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, and Fargo in that. Day 3, there's an enhanced risk again for severe thunderstorms central and into eastern Kansas. So the summary for that at the moment is thunderstorms with large hail, damaging winds, and isolated tornadoes are possible Tuesday across parts of central plains and mid-Missouri Valley. So in that enhanced risk, we're looking at 1.1 million people. And with the slight, we're looking at 4.8 million. And in the marginal areas, we're looking around about just under 31 million people in those marginal areas. And in the day 4 to 8 outlook, a 15% chance there. Let's try to slow that down. So at the minute, there's a day 4 watch for 15% chance of severe weather. Day 5, again, 15% chance of severe weather towards the east. Day 6, day 7, and day 8 are too low. Obviously, we're going beyond the reasonable time frame. So it looks like for the next 5 days, there could be some severe thunderstorms there for parts of the US. Right. I think that brings us to the end of the live for this week. Has everything gone through tonight? It is indeed, and nicely up to an hour as well. What we know? Yes. So next week, obviously, we're back to doing Sunday Night Lives again after a 2-week break. Working next Sunday, which means the live will be at an earlier time of 7:30 tomorrow. Next Sunday. And if anything, thunderstorms do kick off, obviously we'll be live. But looking at that, it's looking like another perhaps dry week for us. So need to keep an eye on that low pressure, perhaps down towards the southwest, how close it gets. Or if the future model runs keeps it well away, where we're not going to tap into any humidity, which could fire off some of the storms. But by the looks of it, looks like we're looking high and dry for the rest of this week and into next week. So if you like the weather, that's hot. This is the week for you. Temperatures possibly widely into low mid, probably high 20s. How high will we go? We might probably get into the low 30s, but we shall see in the coming days on the future forecasts. So, before we go, I'd thank the mods to keep an eye on everybody this evening, and thank you all for watching as well. Thank you so much for Ash. Thank you, and thank you for watching. Thank you to Matthew. Thank you to Laura Johnson for joining us this evening. Thank you to our mods, Paul James, thank you, and James as well. And thank you to Audio Coffee and Rachel's going to be throwing water bombs at her hubby. Enjoy that. And I've just said we'll see you next week if I survive the long. If I survive long, if it's the long heats, then long heat. Try to get eaten. So yeah, have a good week, everybody. And I'll say audio's taken over from Steffi. Hope she's all right. I think it's time to roll those credits. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you at 7:30 next week. Stay safe, enjoy, protect yourself from the sun, etc. And see you again next week. Bye for now.